Hi everyone, this is Joe from the Jodocast. If you enjoy what we do here at the Jodocast and think it's worth your hard-earned money, you can support the show via Patreon. The show is ad-free and we depend on the support of our generous patrons to pay our bills, upgrade old equipment, and bribe Imperial officials. Just a $2 donation gets you access to exclusive content such as off-topic discussion videos, uncut videos of the show, the ability to watch us record the show live and even chat with us as we do so, access to the patron exclusive channel on our Discord server, access to YouTube videos before anyone else gets to watch them, and more. Consider becoming a Noodle Scooter today. And now back to the show.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Jodocast, your Star Wars gaming podcast. This is episode, I had to check the notes, 124. My name is Evan Lewis. I am, of course, joined by Leo Andry. He's gone. I just noticed. I clicked back. Leo Andry is gone, ladies and gentlemen. And he's back, ladies and gentlemen.
Leo, you were
Welcome
just introduced.
Back. Did you enjoy your trip?
Yeah, I was just setting my dog.
Oh, okay. I thought you were purposely getting up during your introduction just to mess with me. And there's Joe Latovsky!
Hey, happy to be here, Evan.
You know, after we've been doing this, like a decade-ish?
My gosh.
Between this and Mos Eisley Radio? I mean, because, Old Republic came out in 2011?
Late 2011, and I'm pretty sure I brought you into MER as a guest commentator in, summer of 2011?
Yeah. So almost a decade.
My.
With some breaks and stuff.
Oh, man.
But yeah, so it's been a decade of me ruining Evan's introductions, and I've never just got up and walked away during it yet, so I thought I had to try
It's a first. It's a first, for sure. But of course, we have to appreciate the magnificence that is Joe for just sitting there and listening to you and I act like a couple of dinguses.
Or just a couple. I'm the child.
You're not wrong. You're like Thronk.
Yeah.
I
don't want to be like Thronk.
You're not an elder, nor are you evil. If you want more information about little Thronky, Thronk Menudo...
If you donate just 5 cents a day, you can keep Thronk deep in drinks at Oga's Canteen.
On YouTube, so check that out.
Evan, what are we doing today?
This is the best of ... 2020.
Spoiler, it all sucked. Also, there should be 4 dots because this is a Star Wars podcast. And
I was thinking of Return of the Jedi.
Except for wasn't
Return
there
of
one
the
movie
Jedi.
where they had 3 dots?
Return of the Jedi has 3 ellipses in the crawl. I was just thinking Disney Plus could change any number of words in the crawl, and nobody would notice because I think most people at this point don't read it every time they watch.
Yeah.
And even if they did read it, nobody has it memorized. The only thing I would notice is if they added or subtracted dots from the ellipses. Otherwise, they could change most of the words in between.
The opening crawl to Rise of Skywalker to be McClunky lives.
McClunky speaks.
Oh, speaks. Yes, sorry, not lives. Speaks.
I mean, it's pretty forgettable. But you know what's not forgettable? Whenever we get a new patron.
What?
And this is a special one, folks.
They're all special.
You know, I mean, they're all special in a mom says I'm special kind of way. But, oh, hey, that's an awfully blue drink that
Is
Leo's
that a blue bomber from the turf?
People get mixed drinks at the turf?
If it's a blue bomber, I mean, it's been a long time since I've been there, but the blue bomber is essentially the, I'd like to get very fast, please, thank you kind of drink.
Is this an NDSU dive?
Yeah. It's the bar right across the road from campus that burned down a couple years ago.
Yeah, it was the one within walking distance for most people.
Yeah.
We had a few of those at IU.
Yeah. It's also right next door to where it's actually like a really nice like alumni center.
That's where I got married.
People have weddings, and my brother got married too.
Yeah.
So
Wow,
like like we had the wedding ceremony, and then the whole wedding party. We just walked over to the turf, did a bunch of shots, and then went back and had the reception.
Nice.
So I mean, the turf is good for some things.
They got good fries.
You know what? At 3 a.m, that's a good thing to have.
I'm guessing it's not a blue bomber you have, which I think is
it's a slug slinger. It's just like with extra blue curacao in it, so it's a little bit bluer than normal.
Disney probably stole it from the turf.
Yeah,
probably stole it from Star Trek. Well, anyways, back to our extra special patron, and he's extra special because, as Leo was saying, we've been doing this. The listeners don't realize I'm waving my hands in the air because we've been doing
gesturing
this thing,
vaguely,
super vague. But we've been doing this thing, this Italian thing.
I can, for the people who can't see you, I can just like do the audio option for the visually impaired. Evan strokes his chin and gestures vaguely with both hands. Now it looks like he's trying to swim through the sky on his back. Now he's shoveling meatballs into his face.
This fellow joined us on Mos Eisley Radio.
Which fellow?
And he provided... this fellow, Mr. Sonny Ravencourt, is a veteran of the long war of Star Wars podcasting.
AKA...
he's been doing it like as long as we have.
Absolutely.
A big shout out to James McDonald, who was a guest on a recent episode of Clumsy and Random, which I'm gonna guess you will have heard before you hear this, maybe. In any case, he was a delight, and we're super gracious to have him among the ranks of our noodle scooters, which that's what we call our followers. Did you know that?
We haven't really pulled out the noodle scooting.
I know, I'm trying to bring it back.
We haven't.
I don't want it to die like the Wampa Hole died.
I'm taking it back.
I just mentioned Wampa Holes.
You did.
Like this weekend. So
in casual conversation with somebody.
Well, here's the thing.
You ever smell a Wampa Hole?
We're gonna bracket this really quick because we were playing with the idea of a cooking show related to Star Wars, and rather than like anything noodle scooting related, Leah was like, "We're gonna shove it in our Wampa hole."
I think it was stuff your Wampa hole.
Stuff your Wampa hole. Mm-hmm. The noodles never even came into it. The noodles never appeared once.
Put a noodle in your Wampa hole?
There you go. Scoot the noodle into your Wampa hole. The new podcast coming from the Jodo Cast Studios.
The whole thing is just pixelated.
It's just, a censored hentai.
Or a cooking show you don't actually know.
You
just
can't
have to
tell
listen.
because there's so many pixels.
There's
you have
a lot
to
of
squint.
I mean,
there's squint really hard.
A lot of squishing noises.
Okay, you know what? When I eat, I ooh and ah all the time. Anyways, thank you, Sonny, a.k.a. James, for joining the greatest people on Earth. We greatly appreciate it, and we really look forward to the next time you can join us on Clumsy and Random. But he is an ace pilot with Jodo Squadron on Squadrons. I think
he's
that's
a good
pluggable.
support.
I think Jodo Squadrons is pluggable.
If you play Squadrons, just hit up our Discord. We got Jodo Squadron, which basically you just see on Discord, you tag the role Jodo Squadron, and everybody who plays Squadrons will see it, and they'll be like, I'll play. We've been playing Squadrons pretty regularly since the game came out. There was a bit of a lull, but I think it's picking back up again, and I'm certainly been more excited to play again recently. And now that they have private matches, I do really want to organize a private match with 10 of us, 5v5. Because I think that would be fun. And we could do the esports. Just we make 2 teams, and one of them will be the champion team. Unless we can get 15 players, then we can have some kind of round robin tournament.
There you go.
Or if you play with friends who aren't into the Jodo cast, you recruit them, make your team, you come to our Discord and say, we're here to throw down. We're going to squash Jodo Squadron.
And you probably will.
Yeah. Anyway, Squadrons is fun. You can play with us.
Actually, I don't know. Maybe, when you play with people who aren't me, you might do better.
I just got ranked at Hero 1, which is like the middle of the road. It's like the third highest, third lowest rank. Anyways,
we are going to skip what we've been playing because it is the best of. The year that was 2020, aka 666, aka the end of times, Ragnarok.
There was nothing good about 2020. The end.
Episode done. That's what we are here to throw down about.
All right, that would be untrue, actually.
You know what? There were a few things that, as I was going through my list, I was like, you know what? Some of these are so easy to just find an answer for, and some of these are just like, well, were there any? And we're gonna jump in right away. I'm sure we will have lots of things to say about all of these categories as we do every year. So
I'd like to derail and say I'm proud of us for getting to this sooner than like January 20th.
Well,
it
may come out on January 20th.
Well, we'll at least have recorded this before
like
Christmas.
Month earlier than it normally comes out.
Before Christmas, even. So, like I said, this is going to be... these are always very, very dense episodes because we have a lot to say. So, folks, if you're listening at home in your leather chair with your smoking jacket, be sure to refill your cognac.
Are you implying that people listen to podcasts not in that sort of situation?
They might be listening in their car, in which case I don't encourage them to drink.
Weird.
Whilst driving.
I mean, I only
they are
listen
going
to podcasts in my podcasting listening chair.
Don't you plebes just turn on your autopilot on your Tesla so you can have your cognac and your smoking jacket while you drive?
I'm pretty sure the Tesla yells at you if you're smoking in there. They might be going through the Starbucks drive-thru. I don't know. Or maybe they're going to one of those Starbucks that doesn't have a drive-thru because that still has the Starbucks experience. I'm getting off into my coffee podcast, which doesn't exist yet. But it could.
One time, there was a lady who asked for coffee at a thing I was at, and she was from New York, and she said coffee, and I chuckled, but not until she left.
What do you mean there's no ice? I gotta drink this coffee hot?
I need some coffee.
All right. Let's talk about a surprise hit of 2020. And this is just something that we didn't see it coming. It's good, and everyone likes it. Maybe not everyone, literally, but this is a thing that, just blindsided us, hey, this is a good game. And just, no fanfare. Joe, what you got?
I said Dark Side Rising. Squadrons almost made it, but it wasn't, surprising that it was good. We all kind of expected it to be fun. Dark Side Rising, I don't know if it came out this year, but maybe it did. It's when I played it this year. It's the dice game from The Op. It's one of those games that didn't release in North American markets, but I just got it on eBay. It was fun. I did a review and a gameplay video of it, and it's a neat game. It's cool because it has Chopper in it, which always improves a game. But it was more fun than I thought it would be. Although I still think I might prefer the Harry Potter version of that game. But
yeah, this is the same line as
Thanos Rising, Dark Side Rising, Death Eaters Rising.
Okay.
Bread Rising.
I like that book. You read that book?
No.
Oh, do you say Bread Rising?
What did you think?
I thought you said Red
Rising.
I don't even
Which
know
he has talked about in the past.
No, wait, never mind. I don't know what Red Rising is.
That's a good book. I think it's turning into a movie or something.
Yeah,
It was a book that I found surprisingly good, but it's impossible to explain it without it sounding super cliche and dumb. It's yeah.
I was
so
gonna
I
say,
guess I won't try.
Is that the book about the raptor mom? But no, that's Red Raptor.
No, it's about humanity in the future, and
it's a book about a raptor written by Robert Bacher, the famous paleontologist.
It's about some people who live underground on Mars, and they're the Reds, and like humanity has like divided themselves up by colors. There's the Golds who are superior to the Silvers, who are superior to the Pinks, who are like the sex worker, and the Browns who are like the
poopers.
No, they do like a count. It sounds, and then like the people.
So it's a ripoff of that one show. What was it called? There was this show that was on in the 90s when I was a kid. I remember watching it, and it only
VR5.
No, it only got I don't know. It only got a couple
Buckaroo
episodes.
Banzai.
But I remember everybody, like they lived on, maybe they lived on Earth. I don't think they lived on Earth. If they did live on Earth, it was like it was not Earth 2, okay?
Is it Bob?
I know Earth 2. I own Earth 2, the series on DVD.
Planet Bob?
Okay, good.
No, but they had these crystals. Everyone had a crystal, like in their sternum here. And apparently, you probably couldn't have a big long beard like this because you had to be able to see your crystals.
Yeah.
Because I guess the crystals showed if you were genetically compatible with another person. If you had the same color, you were genetically compatible, and so it was okay for you to. If you didn't have the same color crystals, you couldn't.
You were like, oh, I'm sorry.
So it's just like,
but
eugenics.
No, I don't know. I think it was like something like there was actually there's like the regular humans lived inside this like domed city, and then outside the dome there was like caveman Neanderthal looking dudes, and I think that's why you could only genetically compatible people because you didn't want to make more cavemen. But one of the main characters in the show was a half human, half caveman guy, and he couldn't anybody because he was the only person who had a black crystal. Nobody else had a black crystal.
Dark crystal.
But that was purple.
Oh, okay, you're right.
Well, so yeah, if listeners, if you happen to know what this show was, tell me. Because honestly, it pops up in my memory every now and then. And I try and scour the internet sometimes to find out what this show was, and I can never find it. And I don't think it got anything more than like a pilot or maybe a couple episodes or something like that. But I remember watching it. This was like in like the mid 90s.
Wow.
For a time frame to help you people search for it.
You people.
Well,
since you're on a roll, Leo.
Yeah.
Did you have a surprise hit for?
Yeah, it was whatever that show was I was just talking about. It was a big hit with me because I can't forget about it 25 years later, 30 years later. But for real, so I don't honestly don't know what to put here. Just because I feel like I haven't done much at all in 2020 as far as gaming's concerned.
There's a YouTube channel called Chest Crystal. Not the show you're thinking about, but
thanks, Joe.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what, Leo.
I mean, I don't.
It was also It was also a very weird year for releases.
Yeah, and
everything was like delayed. So,
I mean, I guess for me, maybe the closest thing would be like Squadrons. but
because
not
it was
really,
actually
because,
decent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's something from EA that didn't suck.
There you go.
So that's a surprise. But at the same time, like from like the first shots we saw of it, we were like, wow, or at least I was like, wow, this looks really great. So I guess that wasn't a surprise. Maybe like before we knew anything about the game, we just knew Motive was working on something.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was assuming it was going to suck. So in that regard, it was a surprise hit. So sure, we'll just go with Squadrons.
I mean, that's perfectly reasonable because assuming that an EA Star Wars game is going to suck is the default. So for it not to suck, it's a surprise. I mean, and I'll touch on Fallen Order in a little bit because I finally did finish it. So that's one of my big things of the year. But for me, I guess this wasn't really a surprise because we knew it was coming. But when we had it fully announced, it was just like a tidal wave of really cool stuff. And that's the Clone Wars expansions for Armada. Because like we knew it was coming. Like they told us. They told us long ago our Clone Wars was coming to Armada. But then they fully announced it. They showed us the products. And it seemed like they were just, given a Space Marine stem to Armada and being like, we believe in you. Go out into the world and be just rad, Armada.
So
be the rad game that we know you are.
They recently did like a huge rules update to Armada too. So
I guess I don't really see that though as a surprise hit. I mean, because we've known it's coming for a long time, and like people have been like begging for Armada ships Clone Wars ships for Armada for a long time.
It could be,
yeah, and that's fair.
That scene from the Monty Python with the guy running in the distance and the two guards of the castle looking, and he's always running.
Yes,
it's that where we know it's coming, but then all of a sudden it's right there in your face.
Exactly. Yeah, that's exactly. I mean, that's a great example. That's a great. I don't know. My brain is failing me right now. But yes, you hit the nail on the head, Joe. It was like, yeah, we knew it was coming, but then when it got here, it's a lot. They did a lot for this game with this expansion. So from someone who hasn't been like in the Armada scene, for them to like take the paddles and jolt Armada they took like the two Clone Wars boxes and rubbed them together and like pressed them onto Kurt's chest. That's pretty damn good. And that was the highlight, I think, of their Gen Con presentation. Not X-Wing, not Legion. I think it was their Armada. And we've got Mate Castle joining us to listen to us be dopey.
Yeah. I think more of the surprise with Armada wasn't so much the Clone Wars ships as the fact that we sort of got like an upgrade to Armada version 1.5 kind of with the big rules changes.
So
I mean, and even changing the formats of some of the cards and stuff like that now.
Mm-hmm. So let's move on to the biggest dud. And this can just be personal opinion. It could be the form of public opinion or according to sales. So, I'm just going to go with mine first because it was kind of a jokey one. COVID-19 is the biggest dud of 2020 because it's awful. It's horrible. And for those of us who have managed to remain virus-free, it has kept us from seeing our friends and having the social interaction. And I will just say this. I did not realize how much I needed weekly D&D or weekly X-Wing, Legion, whatever game got me out of my domicile and interacting with other humans. I apparently need that. And Christian has had to listen to me say, like, man, I didn't think I was going to miss humans this much. When did I start appreciating humanity so much? So it's not something to not mention, really, because we're a gaming show, and sure, we can play Squadrons, we can play SWOTOR, we can play Battlefront, but I know. Shh. We can, if you're someone that's got a weekly, semi-weekly, monthly RPG session, damn, I really started to feel this after a while, and gaming is an important social aspect for me. Like, I communicate best with people when there are dice involved. And
I hope that I understand what you're saying, but I'm now picturing different scenarios and little sketches.
Oh no.
Where it cuts to like you at the bank and you're like, I'd like to deposit, and then you roll the dice. $312. And they're like, are you gonna
I failed to convince her to deposit my money. She says, nope, no deposits today. I'm sorry.
Well, you roll, and she's like, yeah, I can help you. And you're like, no, the dice say here, you actually can't help me. I'm going to have to try a different method.
I failed. I'm sorry. I'll try computers instead. I guess because I couldn't think of a release this year that was particularly bad.
How about Adepticon? But that's kind of what you already said.
Yeah, I'm okay.
I remember there was a time when I had a ticket to go to Worlds, and Evan was going to come with me and hold my hand so I didn't get scared by the big gamer convention crowds. And we were going to have all sorts of fun and make the Jodo cast into the biggest show on the internet with our coverage. And then we couldn't go. And it was sad. But it doesn't, I don't know, it feels that it doesn't matter. It matters, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah, in the long run, it doesn't. But it was right on that edge. It was right on the cusp of, are we or aren't we? Should we or shouldn't we? Are they going to cancel it? Yeah, it was in March. So it was like, we maybe could manage it, and then they took the choice out of our hands and said, no, we're canceling, we're doing the right thing. And we were like, okay, this is not happening. And Gen Con was supposed to be in August, and that by that point we were like, no, nothing's happening. Gen Con's not happening, but Adepticon was gonna happen. So
and even stuff for this spring winter's already been canceling. I know LVO has canceled for sure.
Well, Adepticon 21's been canceled already.
I thought Adepticon 21 was ready to go. Maybe I read it wrong.
Yeah, it's no go this coming year. Gen Con maybe, and I saw someone post an article about that saying, are they crazy? I mean, by August, possibly we could be in orange leaning towards green.
According to Dr. Fauci, if most people get vaccinated, things might be mostly normal-ish by mid-fall, is what he said. So, I assume I just tend to be pessimistic about all that because most people suck, and
they do.
That's why we're where we are right now, anyways. But
yeah, thanks a lot, anti-maskers. Thanks a lot, Gina Carano.
Mostly Gina Carano. She's
it was definitely
90% her. She's been now that
around.
She's such a big
the number
fan of
2
hers.
most searched star on IMDb, which she was bragging about the other night.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Yeah, her credentials are great. Haywire, Fast and Furious, Deadpool 1, and getting the kicked out of her by Christiane Cyborg.
Don't forget American Gladiator. That's actually the American Gladiator reboot is actually where she first came to my attention. Because I was all like, wow, hey, look at that Gladiator. I'd like to know more about her.
Yeah, I saw her on Gladiators, and I was like, wow, is she on the roids?
I wonder if she's the kind of person who'd sign up to Parlor.
She already did.
No, I know.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. I was portraying you in the
being
past.
Facetious.
Yes, me watching American Gladiator.
Yeah.
I wonder if she would sign up for a hypothetical conservatives only social media platform that I will, for the sake of the argument, call Parlor.
Okay, well, enough about me and the biggest dud of 2020. Let's talk with Leo about the biggest dud. Wait. I'm looking at the notes here.
We don't take notes. We're too cool for notes. Don't listen.
Leo, what's your biggest dud of 2020?
This is gonna sound weird.
Yeah,
but the biggest dud of 2020 for me is Star Wars Squadrons.
What?
And
Death Star alarm.
not because
That was closer, but also sounded more like an animal in heat.
you did kind of sound a bit like a cow.
That was one of Obi-Wan's many great dragon
I
noises.
hope in the new show, there's a whole episode just about him like trying to practice sounding like different local animals. Like, it's not even like a defense thing. When he saves Luke, he's just like, I have this skill. Now is the perfect time to use it. Anyways.
I roll for mating sounds.
So anyways, Squadrons, biggest dud of the year for me. And not because it's bad, because I honestly do think it's a pretty fantastic game, outside of the fact that like all the NPCs in the campaign are just dumb. But beyond that, like the actual gameplay is great, and for me though, it's the biggest dud because it's the game I've spent the last 25 years just thinking to myself, my God, all I want is an update to X-Wing and TIE Fighter. That is the Star Wars game I want. Make it. And they did. And I don't think I mean, there's maybe a couple things they could have done differently. Like, some of the map design isn't my favorite and stuff. But, I mean, for the most part, they ticked every box I had. But then when I sit down to play it, I played it for like the first week it came out, and I haven't hardly touched it since. And I feel no desire to play it. And for me, I think that's just why it's the biggest dud. Not that it's a bad game. It's just, I don't know why. I just don't feel a whole lot of desire to play it.
Yeah, I've started playing it more recently, and I've even started playing some games like on my own. Since release, aside from campaign, I've really only been playing it when other people are on and want to play it with me, because it's super fun when you play with some people and can just coordinate.
Oh yeah, I agree. It's like when I do play it, the few times I have played it since launch has been in a group with you guys, and it's a great amount of fun for the most part. I think the when I was still playing was still, and when they were having the really bad problems with ranking and skills and stuff, and that honestly did a lot to kill your fun when you would get paired up with someone who, I mean, when one guy goes like 40-2 for kill to death, it's just like murdering your team constantly. Mm-hmm. It's like, it's hard to have a lot of fun in a match like that.
The lead,
and I get it that I kind of suck, but I would just like to be paired up against other people that suck.
Also suck.
Well,
Yes.
that's the lead guy actually made a post recently that their matchmaking and ranked, like based on people who should be your skill, is really finally starting to get its footing because of the whole ranked crap at the beginning. It really didn't work at all, and now with Operation 2 and the rank reset and stuff, it's finally starting to shake out the way that they did it to initially. And now that I'm finally ranked, we'll see how that plays out in practice. But I've been having fun playing that one by myself. Leo, you should bust out the Xbox controller and try it again, because I feel like some of it was also you just struggling with the joystick to make it.
Yeah, and I agree. I think that's part of it too. Is like I'm so out of practice using the joystick. Also, that it was just when I started playing, I was just having a hell of a time using that. And we talked about that in some of our Squadrons review episodes. So I don't think we necessarily need to rehash that. But I'm hoping, especially now that there's the Defender and the B-Wing in there, to play around with. I want to come back to it eventually here.
Join us for some.
I probably will at some point, but for right now, like I said, that's just kind of for me personally the biggest stud. I don't think, in a broad sense, the game is a dud by any means. It's just this is more of like a for me personally.
Oh yeah. So I'm gonna bring in some of the comments from patron chat, because I think this is everything that we're saying just coalesced into one basic statement, that it's not well supported despite matchmaking finally getting worked on and new ships being added. It doesn't have any roadmap of updates. It has only a few maps, like you already said. So it's...
I hear what he's saying, and I disagree-ish. Mm-hmm. The game was never branded as something that would... It's already gotten more support than we were expecting with the new B-Wings and the new map. Sure. You know, they were like, hey, we're going to do it old school. Here's a cheap game. We're going to put it out, and that's what you get. Okay, bye. And then they're like, oh, we'll try and... They've done a lot of the recent updates have done a lot of good stuff with balancing and adding new ship components and things. And it's definitely in a more stable and balanced state than it was earlier. It would be really nice, because the game is really fun, to have that kind of support, like a lot of other ongoing games like Apex and Gears and all these, Overwatch, whatever.
Yeah.
But this is never the game they promised us, and everyone was cool with it until it came out, and it turns out, oh, this is great, please give me more and more and more. And they were like, but that's not what we said. So I wish it was like that, but it's not, and they never claimed it would be.
Right. And now that it's in people's hands, and it's very popular.
It'd be real cool if they were like, oh, wow, it's more popular than we thought. We should just scrap the, out of the box, get what you get model and mix it up, because, I want more. keep pumping money into that game.
I would not be at all surprised if EA said, hey, this is looking like it could be a long-term thing, and they take the EA hose, away from somebody else, and they point it at Motive, and they just spray
I don't know,
Motive.
But no, because if EA is going to point the hose at them, that also means that they're going to be
in their business,
crawling up their ass,
I have no
fucking things up. So
I have no backup or evidence for this, but I get the feeling that like Ian Fraser, the lead guy behind this game, and whoever else at Motive just were like, "Can we do a thing?" And they're like, "Please." And like, "Okay, fine. Here's $20. Make your little game. Don't give it any you don't have the budget. Your team has to move on after you make this little thing." It almost seems like EA, Mr. EA was just like, "Okay, fine. You can do this one little thing, and then you get to make something that we, corporate thinks is cool."
all the I'm sure they showed it to corporate, and they were like, "There's where the fuck is Chewie in
There's
this
no
game? How are we supposed
Chewbacca.
to sell
People aren't
this?"
going to understand it's a Star Wars game.
There's no Chewbacca, there's no Darth Vader, but we're going to move on. But they should be applauded for delivering a complete game. It's a complete game. It's not super buggy as far as I know.
Yeah, other than ranking, there wasn't really like any like game breaking bugs in it or anything like that.
Yeah, there were some big balance issues, but they've sorted those out, and it works well now.
All right. Let's get... Oh, wait. Joe, we need your dud.
My dud is not a game that disappointed me sort of after 20 years, nor a virus that has killed so many people. But instead, It is Hasbro's Hoth Ice Planet Adventure game. The game that originally was printed in 1980 and Hasbro re-released this year because it's the 40th anniversary of The Empire Strikes Back. Because it's what I do. I bought it and I wanted to play it because I like having any sort of Star Wars board game in my collection that I can find. And it's really bad.
It's really bad? Compared to Death Star Escape, it's really bad?
Escape Death Star game is way better and more interesting. It's got a cooler board that fans out. Both of which I feel like I plug our YouTube a lot, but I'm proud of the content I put there. I have a gameplay video of the Hoth Ice Planet Adventure game of Bethany and I playing it, and it's bad. We make it look cool and fun, but you don't let that fool you. It's bad.
Make this look good.
I feel like it could be a very fun game if essentially all it is, it's a roll and move. You move in a circle around the board and you land on spaces that mostly do absolutely nothing. It's a spin and move. It uses a spinner. Or you encounter something and you look at the card and it says, the Wampa attacked you, go back 2 spaces. Or you land on a blue space in which you just get a force card it's basically just a token. Or you land on an enemy space, which is a stormtrooper, a probot, Boba Fett, or an AT-AT, and then you have to wager a number of your force cards. You spin the thing. There's certain regions on the spinner that says if you pass or fail. If you pass, you get those cards back. If you fail, you lose them and you try again. It's very boring. I think it would be amazing if get rid of the spinner, give everybody a D12, because the spinner only goes up to 13. So just give everybody a D12. And there's no turns. Everybody's just going simultaneously, and now it's a race. Because eventually at the end you want to get to Vader and do the same sort of combat with Vader. So now it's just a timed race. Whoever can defeat Vader first and finish the game wins. Playing simultaneously, so you're going to be bumping into each other and screaming and, fighting over stacks of cards. Now I think you got a game there. If you're drunk, perfect game. That was my biggest dud. Not a great game. And it's another one of those games that comes packaged with an action figure, but if you remove the action figure from its package or the box, now your game box looks weird because it's got a window on the front for the figure to show out of.
That's dumb. Is it better than the Atari Empire Strikes Back game?
I haven't played it because I'm a fake Star Wars gamer.
It's pretty bad. But not as bad as the lightsaber dueling game on the Atari. Wow, that is a bad game.
I don't even know that one.
Yeah, it's like you just that's like 2 sticks, a red and a blue one, and they go wah, 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 on the screen. it's pretty bad.
Okay.
Well, so don't play that unless you've got young children, and even then there's better games for them to play.
All right. Moving on to what we missed out on personally. This is the one that should have maybe spent some time on it, but didn't, or for whatever reason. I see one of them on the notes just got crossed out, so we'll start with Leo this time. What did you miss out on?
I put down the Dark Side Rising just because I've heard good things about like Thanos Rising and stuff. And I haven't played that either. But I think it would be really cool to play the game with a Star Wars skin on it. If we didn't have to deal with the Hasbro deals that prevents all that from being released in America.
I thought you were going to say you watched our gameplay video so many times. It's all you've had on repeat since it came out a few months back.
No, the only videos I've had on repeat have been our Yoda Stories videos.
Okay. That's fair.
Mr. Joe, do you in fact have something?
I do have it missed out on. I initially put Tales from the Galaxy's Edge, even though I heard it's not that great, but I'm like, it's still something that I can't play. So I missed out on it. But then I remembered there's actually 2 board games sitting on my shelf right now that I got recently that I haven't had time to play yet. Well, I've had plenty of time. Bethany just has, she's busy with work, getting a PhD, and
the woman,
and being like ill and too tired and in pain to play board games with me.
Postgraduate degree,
getting a
right?
PhD, like that takes time.
Yeah.
I bet she's gonna expect people to call her a doctor after she gets her PhD.
She's doesn't know about medicine. She's got a weird untreatable illness. That's
she's
the opposite
she's sick
of
all
being
the time.
a medical
How is she a doctor?
It's called Snack Time and Unlock are the 2 games sitting on my shelf that I want to play but haven't had time to. Snack Time is a game with, we'll call him Grogu, unless you... It's a Mandalorian game. There's like a plastic stand of the child that sits in between you and your opponent with a huge hole where the mouth is. Each of you has a little catapult thing, and you shoot little plastic frogs through the mouth at each other. And I think the goal is to just, when time runs out, have the least amount of frogs in front of you. So you're just shooting frogs at each other through its mouth, I think. Looks like it could be silly. Unlock is it's like an escape room in a box thing. I have not played it yet. There are a number of other games on my shelf that I have not played, but those are the 2 most recent ones that I've been actually meaning to get on the table and just haven't yet.
I'm excited to play Unlock as well. I've actually got it. I bought it for my son because he really is into like escape rooms, and like we played a few of those different like escape room board games. And so when I saw there was a Star Wars one, I had to get it for him. But we gotta wait till Christmas before he can open it and finally get a chance to play.
He's right behind you. He heard you say that. Yeah, I'm excited to play that one because I never played a game like that. Not a board game anyways. But those are games that I'm trying to... I do have some older games like Jedi Unleashed, which is one of those Attack of the Clones era board games that it's about like the arena. And I have a hunch Bethany might have gotten me some other old vintage Star Wars board games for Christmas that I'll have to play, but since I don't know what they are, they don't make the missed out on list. Too many Star Wars board games. We gotta start the commune so I can put my library there and we can all play together. If you're unfamiliar with the commune it's once we raise enough money through Patreon, we're gonna get like a farm in the middle of nowhere and live there and just forget about the rest of humanity and only play Star Wars board games.
It may sound like a cult, but trust me, it is.
Well, yes.
We're going to build a glass dome and everyone's going to have to wear these colored crystals on their chests.
Nerd Waco. Yep, that's right. It's Galaxy's Gate.
Man.
Force's Gate.
Wait till we piss off the ATF.
Oh boy. You know what? As long as Matt Smith plays me, I'll be fine with that. Let's wait. I gotta do my missed out on.
What'd you miss out on, Evan?
This is going to sound a little ridiculous because it's like, Evan, why are you so busy?
Why are you so busy?
I haven't played Squadrons for more than like 5 minutes. And it's not that it's a bad game.
Did you spend your year getting married and moving into a new house and stuff like that? That's dumb.
Yeah, stuff like that. I did buy it at the exact same moment that I bought Sims 4 and Journey to Batuu, and I think I've played that more.
That's probably the saddest thing I've ever heard.
But
I'm gonna have to take another drink for that.
It is depressing. But I think for me personally, so sidebar, I mean, Star Wars has so many different aspects that appeal to different people in different ways. I think that Starfighter games are not my jam, because I never got anywhere on X-Wing, original X-Wing. I never bought Rogue Squadron, and even though I bought this one immediately, like, I started it, I saw the opening bits, and I started flying through the missions, and I'm like, you know what's new Star Wars story? I'm going to play through the story, if nothing else. But I have felt absolutely no compulsion to play it. It's not drawing me in at all.
Yeah, I can see that if you're going for just single player story, since the story is mostly like, hey guys, I like racing.
Yeah. So yeah, it hasn't grabbed me. It's not compelling. Compelling is the word that I was looking for.
How about this? Try this on for size. That symbol on your hat right now, the Old Republic Sith Empire symbol, is apparently there have been leaks of future cosmetics, and there is going to be that logo and the Old Republic logo that you can put on your ships. And as far as I'm aware, that might be the first like canon appearance of those symbols.
Nope. No, in the Lando comic books, the pedestal that weird like Sith helmet was sitting on.
Oh.
Remember when they find that Sith helmet?
Yeah.
The pedestal was in the shape of that symbol on his hat.
What about the old?
That's the first canon one that I know of. Anyway, it may have even been earlier, but I know for sure the Sith symbol has been canon longer than
the Jedi symbol, or the Old Republic Jedi, or whatever that symbol is, because it's not like the Jedi symbol we all know. That I don't know if that's shown up anywhere, but in any case, there have been leaks that's showing up, and I think there's also like a little pendant of those symbols you can hang from your cockpit. I don't know where those leaks came from. I've just seen pictures of them. But that's kind of neat. Maybe they're just trying to remind players that this game exists.
They should release skins for the Old Republic ships playable in Squadrons.
No, they should release skins so I can look like the one chubby pilot dude in The Mandalorian.
Oh, the indentured servant?
Are you talking about the New Republic guy? That guy from that
the New
Canadian
Republic
show
guy
that I don't know the name of?
Yeah, the like Asian dude.
Oh, yes. They should.
Him.
He should be a playable dude. Absolutely, 100%.
And Filoni, give me a Filoni head for my character.
Hey,
But he should be able to wear a cowboy hat
over.
instead of a regular pilot's helmet.
Just the hat. Not even Filoni, just the hat should be an extra customizable thing. Okay, so yes, I missed out on Squadrons. I apologize, but I will say I can unequivocally, is it unequivocally or unequivocally? Help me out.
I think it's on.
I think it's on, but I feel
it's oon.
I feel like a plebe when I say unequivocally. The rookie of the year. The rookie of the year is far and away Squadrons, in my opinion.
Yep, that's my pick. I mean, too much else came out this year, and that came out this year. And
I mean that's in its favor.
And it even if you guys are struggling to hang on to it, it has generated a lot of video content since it came out. Every Friday, new Squadrons video.
Yeah,
and
I don't know.
And people don't hate them.
The other thing that could be in the running, honestly, as far as like Legion is concerned, is like ARC Troopers. Because holy when those guys dominated the Star Wars Legion meta for quite a while.
When did they come out?
Oh,
I thought they came out like in the spring.
I
ARC
stopped.
Troopers? I'm gonna bracket this conversation because
remembering when they came out is always so weird because it's just been a weird year, and then also the fact that
the fruit fly buzzing around me.
That so many people are playing on TTS, and we're playing on TTS this year, so people were using them long before they were actually available. Looks like they didn't come out until August.
That's what I thought, because they were long after the phase 2s.
Yeah, I think they came out alongside like the Staps or something.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, is there a 2020 meta? But I guess you're right. If they're doing stuff on TTS,
people are
I guess they're
playing online.
Yeah, I guess you're right. I'm just ill-disposed towards TTS because it's a super clunky UI, and
that's right. No, it's the phase 2s that came out this spring. They came out in February.
Right.
But I mean, either one could be a kind of a contender because I mean, just in general, clones were kind of ruling the roost for quite a while.
Yeah, absolutely they are. And yes, in 2020, there's no minimum distance for characters. It's a minimum distance of 6 feet between your models, between your units. They're going to be 6 feet away. Your battlefield is huge.
Yep. You have to, when you play Legion, you have to both stand at the short ends of the table, so you're 6 feet apart. And then you have to move your minis with those little sticks that like generals and like the movies have that they use to move their armies around.
We're going to take this area right here. Move your man. Or is it like shuffleboard?
Yeah, it's like you've got like this stick and it's like got the flat end, so almost like a rake that you use.
You could kind of modify that though, so it has an attachment specifically used to like grab the base.
A grabber? You're gonna use like an old person grabber?
Grab the base of your miniatures so you can actually pick them up and put them on top of cover.
There you go. And all the minis have to have masks.
Or you could
Okay. So I said rookie is Squadrons. Leo, I think you agreed.
Yeah, I agree, but like I said, I think ARC Troopers could definitely be up there. I don't know. I again, maybe it's just because Squadrons is a thing I've actually played, and I haven't actually really played Legion at all in 2020. So
I felt like Legion. I mean, aside from a new expansion changing the meta, I didn't feel like Legion made waves this year in any particular way. But Joe, what do you think?
I think that's just because we haven't been playing.
Yeah. That's the main reason.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I haven't played much.
Yeah, no, I mean, there's been big things that have made waves in the game. I mean, like especially the most recent rules update.
I'm apparently a fake Legion player because I didn't persist and try and play online as much as possible.
Well, like you said, playing online sucks, though.
Not if you're a true believer in Legion. Everybody kept playing.
I can't do it. I've
noticed.
tried. to play on
takes
Tabletop Simulator.
it takes
just
longer,
does
and it
not work for me.
I
at
don't
all.
like it. But I think it occurred to me that because a lot of the tools are very nice, you can say definitively, 100% no doubt whether this unit is within range X of that unit and all this.
Oh yeah, and I mean, I'm not like disparaging like the guys who've made.
It's very cool.
The Legion mod for TTS. Yeah, no, there's
It's
a lot of
really
great stuff
cool.
in there. The problem with it is TTS itself.
Right.
Like, it's just not a great platform
Well,
for playing
I think-
games on. I don't think like
Even though that's what
I've
it's
hated
designed
playing
for.
every single game I've ever tried to play on Tabletop Simulator.
Did you play
Yes.
Outer Rim with us on there? We did one game of Outer Rim on there, and it was actually very fun. And
I did not,
because basically,
but I probably
because
would have hated it.
TTS is very good at holding cards in your hand, and all Outer Rim is looking at a card and moving your token back and forth. It was pretty good. I'd actually do that again sometime. But what Tabletop Simulator Legion kind of taught me was that, apparently a huge source of the joy of this game comes from using the little dudes that I put all this time into. And Tabletop Simulator doesn't have that, obviously, because it's just very nice, very good 3D models of just the generic base look of all these guys. I'm like, oh, that's not as fun. But I don't like playing those games online. People have been playing in person around here. I haven't.
I saw your mouth moving, Evan, but I did not hear you.
I was muted.
Oh.
I was muted. I was saying that my Warhammer community tries to play Kill Team on TTS, and I'm just like, I can't play TTS. It's just so aggravating and eliminates most of the fun of playing a tabletop war game.
You can take benefit is this little pencil tool, and you can draw penises right onto the board while your opponent does their turn,
Okay.
which is always nice. You can't get away with that in real life.
That is nice.
Yeah, my local stores have started up a Legion League again a few weeks ago, and I haven't bothered looking into that.
Yeah. Okay, this is another bracket conversation. We're gonna get political again.
How
This
many
is not
brackets
political.
are we
This
in?
is common sense. This is like bracket. This is like bracket, curly bracket, parentheses.
Let's be careful with the brackets, because apparently I just learned this the other day, but apparently this is a like
It's not a Nazi thing,
sort of
is
like
it?
like a Nazi thing.
What?
Where they will put 3 sets of brackets around like a name or something like that, and that is apparently to indicate that the person is a Jew. So we're on our second bracket now, so we can't go any further.
Damn
than
it.
that.
It's in like 5 years from now,
Nazis.
you're not even gonna be able to like blink without it being, co-opted by white supremacists. We're like, well, that's the thing that
Yeah,
started on
it's-
4chan as a joke, and now all the Nazis do it super seriously.
It's
God
like
damn
you
it.
can't in 5 years you can't use the @ sign because the @ stands for Aryan. So anytime you're like, yeah, I'm
Don't give 'em ideas, bro.
gmail.com. It's like, no, you're a Nazi now. It's like, son of a. Okay, asterisk. Can we?
Or
use an
you could
asterisk?
do like a sub bullet, the next indentation. Or you
Alright.
could keep using brackets, because I'd rather if you're a Nazi, I'd like you to go yourself. Extra
Yeah, we-
yourself if you
We don't want
use-
Nazis here.
if you participated in ruining brackets for the rest of us.
I'm sorry, TTS turns good minis into a bad video game. Yes, okay. So, what was I saying? I've had my local Facebook Legion group be like, hey, who wants to game on Friday night? And I'm just sitting here like, what? Are you stupid? You should be at home getting on Reddit telling everyone how you're so rad at Legion instead of actually playing it, you dickhead. Just like, no, don't go. Don't play. I understand playing a miniatures game, you can actually be 6 feet apart. But, do your part. I'm doing my part. Stay home. Talk on the internet. and wear your mask when you have to go to Walmart to get your damn whatever Monster Energy drinks. I know Joe drinks a lot of Monster Energy drinks, and you know what? He's got the sugar-free one. Y'all can drink your sugar-filled ones at home where you're supposed to be, while I go to Kroger and get a couple of bottles of balls. But do us a favor and stay home. Don't go out and spread your germs to the game store where we have to go and occasionally buy our paint, okay?
I haven't been to a game store since March.
Not even to get paint?
I've gone to Games Workshop once since March, maybe twice.
Well, they appreciate it. You said the dude there is a good dude, right?
He seems... I don't know. I always let him down because he's like, what you painting? What are you working on, buddy? I'm like, Star Wars stuff. And he's like, oh. He always seems so let down when I like make it clear that I don't buy Warhammer stuff. Like, just here for the paints, buddy.
My guy is like, oh man, I love Star Wars. Which one's you doing? Which faction you painting? I mean, like, our local Games Workshop manager is 100% good dude, always engaged.
Just go in there and tell them that just be like, yeah, I buy this paint even though I don't have my Warhammer Fantasy army anymore because I burnt the whole thing when Age of Sigmar came out. Pretend to be like one of those guys.
They're still not over it, even though it's becoming clearer and clearer that Fantasy was a troubled game. But
yeah,
hey, it's coming back, and I'm going to buy it.
I think the local league started up when things were making a very positive turn in this county, and they, you have to wear masks, and they have all these rules. But apparently Arizona's number 3 on the worst states list again.
Hi-oh!
So, good job, Arizona.
All right, we're going to move on. We're going to move on from rookies and political commentary to most improved. Joe, give me your most improved game of the year.
You know what? I'm going to audible again. I have written down on the notes Legion ? But like I said, I haven't played much of it. All I've been doing with Legion is painting for the most part. I have played 2 games at home with Bethany. I'm going to say Squadrons because it got 2 very good updates that for like the first month that it was out, me and the other players in Jodo Squadron were just like, fix the rank thing, fix this specific problem, and fix this specific problem. Oh my god.
About the ranking.
And then a month later, they're like, hey, these 3 problems that you were specifically whining about are fixed. And then we checked, and they were. And so it gets my most improved thing.
And I think it should be mentioned really quick, just in case anyone's listening to this and thinking that wanting ranking to be accurate is a matter of, like, I want to be recognized for my awesomeness. That's really not what we're going for. It's more about matchmaking to make sure that we're playing with people of the same level, right?
Correct.
People that suck as bad as we do.
Right, that's...
Yes.
Ranking in games like this is kind of a twofold system. Primarily, it's to make sure that you get paired with people of similar skills as best as some games determine that better than others. We have no idea how Squadrons does it, but that's the idea, is that you should be, once you're ranked, only getting placed in matches of people with similar ranks. So you theoretically are all similarly skilled. The other thing is there is that kind of recognition, or at least that kind of self-journey that you can go on where you're like, okay, I'm going to see how highly ranked I can get. And it's, it's a challenge for yourself to see how good you can get and climb through the ranks. But that's, especially in Squadrons, I'm not concerned with that. The only game I care about that in is Gears. But Squadrons, I just want to be ranked so I can have more even matches, because the closer the games are, the more fun they are. It's really fun when you have a really close game and it's down to the wire. Even if you're on the team that is just smoking the other team, that's not as fun. I'm happy that ranked is finally smoothing itself out. So that's cool. I wish I knew what contributed to rank. Like, does it care just about my wins, about my kills, about my capital ship damage? I don't know. It's a mystery. But the game thinks I'm a hero.
Hey, we've got the Beard 1808 joining us in chat now. Welcome to the best of 2020. Feel free to drop your thoughts in Patron Lounge chat. All right. So, we asked Leo, we asked Joe, and now
you
for
did
me.
not ask me.
Most improved.
You didn't ask me, but okay, whatever.
What? I thought we asked you.
No.
Well, what is it, Leo?
Yes. You asked Joe, and then you decided to skip me. So it doesn't matter. My opinion is just.
Oh, I mean, if that's the case, we'll just proceed as though your opinion didn't matter.
My most improved for 2020. I said Legion just because, like I mentioned earlier, they made in their recent big rules update, they made some really needed rules changes to kind of balance a few things out, particularly with clones, getting rid of turn 0 green token generation, and also standby sharing. They were two really powerful tools that the clones had that were kind of allowing phase 2s and arcs to really dominate the game's meta a lot. And which is not to say, I mean, it's not like it was impossible for other factions to win, but they definitely did have a distinct advantage, and I don't think it was going to be good for the game long term for that all to stick around. So I'm glad they made those changes. They made a whole pile of points changes and stuff on a lot of units too, which is really cool. I like they made some changes to the way Field Commander works, so now you can have a tank with Ayla Sakura as the commander of your army, which is pretty fantastic. Just looking now towards the future, we've got Lando going to be coming in the game, so I mean, right there, that's probably going to earn it its most improved for 2021
and
award.
Game of the Year, probably.
And yeah, maybe it's gonna give it a chance for Game of the Year.
Okay.
I think I already know what my 2021 Game of the Year is gonna be.
So that's cool. But again, it's one of those deals where like I haven't really been playing the game at all.
Yeah.
So it's a little hard to say, but I mean, just reading all the rules changes, they were things the games needed. And I'm excited to really see where, now that the game has been moved under the umbrella of Atomic Mass Games, I'm really excited to see where the game's going to go from there.
I already feel like this extra excitement just today. When did they announce? Yesterday they announced Lando and Callus. Luke Williamatti, who was one of the two lead designers on Legion, is now the head of game development at Atomic Mass Games. He was tweeting a lot more about these new announcements than he had usually previously did, with like design behind the scenes things. Like, oh, this art actually inspired the rules for this card. Like, I knew I wanted to use this art for Callus's 1-pip card, and I worked backwards from that, or things like that. And he hadn't previously been doing stuff like that, I don't think, which I felt like there was like a new energy behind it.
Yeah. It's it's definitely going to be an interesting year for the game. Well, not just for Legion, but also for Armada and X-Wing too. Just with all the shakeups that have happened there, it'll be really interesting. I hope that they can continue the trend they have, though.
Yeah. And my most improved is going to follow along a lot of the same lines as Legion, but I'm going to say Armada. Because I feel like this year belonged to Armada more than anything else in terms of tabletop and even against video games. Like, we had the Rookie and Squadrons, but there really wasn't much else making big waves in far as like changing where it had been previously. Although, you know what? I'll give it up to Squadrons for having a 1 month turnaround on fixing the things that needed fixing.
So long. It should have taken them like a week.
But you know what? It was a completed game, and then they still fixed it. So big props to Motive for that one. We should send them a sprayed gold X-Wing. We'll send them a sprayed gold X-Wing. What do you think of that?
We haven't given out a physical Game of the Year trophy since, I think, 2018 when we first started giving out Game of the Years, and it went to Legion, and hopefully that trophy finds its way to Atomic Mass Games, because I know the team at Fantasy Flight got our trophy, and
they sent us a picture
of them. Like, some were smiling, some were like, "Why are we doing this?" They got our trophy. Had a little.
Really, no one other than Alex Davey really seemed that impressed with our trophy in that picture.
We tried. You know what? Damn it!
Well, and
didn't we even use their favorite model, the backwards pointing?
There's a video of me demonstrating the trophy, because it was like a multi-purpose thing. You could take the piece off the trophy and use it in your game, and it was its own storage box. It was the best trophy anyone had ever made, to be honest. I think the next year we had I think in 2019 Fallen Order was kind of our definitive Game of the Year, and we didn't...
yeah, I think so.
I looked into it, and I couldn't find a way to, like, send them something, so I didn't bother. I'm sure they would care even less than Fantasy Flight would.
Probably, yeah. A sprayed gold plastic lightsaber from Walmart with a note that says, "Do I get to hold a lightsaber?"
And just like blowtorch the end of it so it melts to look like Cal's broken lightsaber.
Oh, there you go. There you go. All right. The moment everyone's been waiting for. Let me check Discord to see here. Wow. This is taking on a life of its own.
It's the Chewbacca noise at the end there.
Cut off. Game of the Year. And this is not just a face-off between rookie and improved. It might be one that isn't new, Leo. And it didn't necessarily have to make drastic changes. It just had to be awesome. Turn and face the... What?
Nothing.
Okay, so let's see here. Who did we start with last time? We went Joe, it went Leo, then it went me. Let's get the obvious out of the way first, if you don't mind. Leo, what's your Game of the Year?
Star Wars Jedi Knights. You know, Joe tried to make it seem like I thought it was the worst game ever, but nah. Just kidding, it was the worst game ever.
Okay. Face off between Decipher's Star Wars Jedi Knights versus WotC's Star Wars trading card game.
You know what? To be honest, I never played enough of either one to really know which one was worse. I'm going to say Jedi Knights just because it was way fucking uglier than WotC's game was.
It's true.
WotC's game at least had nice looking cards. But no, since we're talking about cards, my game of the year is Decipher's Star Wars, the customizable card game. Because it's still the best Star Wars game ever made.
Besides Loop and Chewie, right?
Well, obviously.
If you have not listened to our episode on Star Wars CCG, it should be, if memory serves, it is the episode that immediately precedes this one. And
I forgot to take a bite out of your onion.
Yeah.
Or pepper. Pepper, yes.
Is this a reference I'm missing?
It is.
Yes. Clearly.
If memory serves. Ale cuisine. Yes, you should listen to our episode all about the Star Wars customizable card game from Decipher, because we finally allow Leo to just go hog wild on all the things that are super rad about that dang old game, and why you owe it to yourself as a Star Wars person to pay attention to it. And yes, it is. How many years in a row is this the game of the year for you?
Well, I mean, technically, I guess
all of them.
This is the game's 25th anniversary, so I'm going to say it's 25 years in a row.
Holding on to the title. Can you find like the lead designer on that game and like reach out to him, or is he one of the guys who was like embezzling stuff?
I know. I think it was one of like the studio heads who was embezzling shit at the end there.
But yeah, if you can get this guy on the horn, we'll talk to him.
We're on Game of the Year.
Yeah, Joe, give me a serious answer.
I'm pretty sure. I don't feel as strongly as I did in previous years about my Game of the Year, but I'm going to call it for Squadrons, because even though it hasn't like pulled me in as hard as other Star Wars games did, like Battlefront and Fallen Order. I do really like it. It's very fun. When you're doing good, it feels really good because it's so like skill based, I guess. Like, you know, if you pull off the right moves, it's a lot about movement more than anything else sometimes, and that feels really good. And it's fun playing with friends. It's fun putting the paint color on your X-Wing and going, it's red now, and I like it, and that's fun. I pick Squadrons. It's cool.
I jokingly said The Mandalorian because it's some of the best Star Wars that we currently have, period. It was the best Star Wars from last year. It's the best Star Wars from this year. But as far as games go, I'm going to say late to the party on my part is Jedi Fallen Order, because I got frustrated last year trying to play it, because whatever expectations I had for it last year, I didn't really connect with it until this year. And once I started on it, I couldn't stop playing it. I couldn't put it down. They really, really nailed it with Fallen Order. Like, once I just got in sync with the game and figured out what it wanted from me, even if it was just control issues, input UI, or how they expected me to play the game. Also, putting it on easy mode helped, because, I want to see where the story goes, and if the story is compelling enough to draw me in, I'm going to keep on playing the game. And if I feel like being challenged later on, like with New Game Plus, like, yeah, I'll put in a bit more time on a higher difficulty later. But they really got it. They really got it. And I'm happy to give them my vote this year, a year late. And as I recall, last year, weren't they just slightly too late for the video game awards.
Yeah, because it came out like what, very end of November, didn't it? Or was it very very end of November?
It was like
I think. like it came out like Thanksgiving week or something.
Oh, was it?
Like that.
Was it even that late?
I think so. Yeah,
could have been. So in any event,
I forget exactly,
it came out I think the same week as Pokemon, which is kind of a hard thing to compete against in terms of sales or paying attention, because it's a different kind of game, and I was playing a lot of the new Pokemon that month. But yeah, I'm super happy to say that Jedi Fallen Order was such a surprising gem, and I just thoroughly enjoyed it.
I'm glad you finally picked it back up.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm super happy that I did. I'm very glad that I got it like when I got it.
Sims 4 isn't your game of the year then?
Not so much. But that's just my lack of experience in that universe.
I did remember there were a number of games that I played for the first time this year with you guys. Yoda Stories and Episode 1 Racer come to mind immediately.
Oh, yeah.
And those were fun.
Episode 1 Racer really was a fantastic game.
I was very
keep
tempted
mean to go
give
back to it
that
and just keep
an
playing
award
it.
this year.
Yeah, because that's a great thing about that game is the graphics, maybe aren't the greatest, but the actual gameplay still 100% holds up to this day.
Yeah, it was fun. After we figured out the weird controls, that was really good. I keep meaning to be like, oh, I should just keep playing that, and then I have other like modern games that have a story that I'm interested in that keep coming up, and I'm like, oh, I'll play that instead.
The thing with Racer is that when we played it back in 1999 on the N64, it was one of those games where we all sat around the TV and one person had the controller and we were just, the whole group got into it like we did when,
or 4 players had the controllers,
or
because
4
you
players
could do 4 players on the split screen.
But that's one of the fun parts about that game, is having your group of friends around to, just race through the stupid courses and blow up and be dumb pod racers.
I want a pod racing game from Atomic Mass and from Edge Studios. I was flipping through that character book you got me for the RPG, and there's a card. I don't think not a card. There's an entry, which I don't think is a card in our Clumsy and Random deck, for a pod racer. And it made me think, what if you did a whole campaign where all the player characters were just pod racers, and how would that work? And that's as far as that train of thought went. But I thought it was fun. And then I'm like, well, if AMG is going to be making new Star Wars games, why not make a pod racer game? Because people have made like Mario Kart variants for X-Wing where you turn it into a racing game. Just make a whole game with pod racers.
One of the Star Wars RPG books had pod racing rules in it, didn't it?
I don't know.
Picture
of the
class
this,
books?
Luke William Eddy from Atomic Mass Games pitching you this. A cheap miniatures game where you can basically buy a single pod if you want, and you don't have to buy any more. You get the core set and one pod racer, and you're set for life as long as you get some upgrades here and there to tweak how it works, and it's kind of a more simple game compared to the other ones. Do you like that?
It could just be a game like what's that Formula, that car racing board game? Formula D.
Oh, Formula D is wonderful. It's on my shelf. I've been meaning to get rid of it because it's a long game.
It's wonderful. I'm trying to get rid of it.
It's a really long game. It is a really long game.
It's really cool, but it's long. But, Pod Racer would be, you have a mini that's like this big. You could paint it the way you want. You get your own, you get a little mini of like a dude holding a flag that you like put across the board at the beginning. You'd have, you could, have a mechanic where you can cheat and try and sabotage other people's pods, but maybe if you get caught, you lose out on some winnings or something. I don't know. I think it'd be fun. Because then you can make a new, think of all your tabletop terrain, and now you can arrange it into like a pod race course. You can have, the locals shooting at you from their pickup trucks.
It sounds like it'd be the Star Wars equivalent of Blood Bowl. Although I want to come up with Hut Ball rules to play with Legion minis. I think that'd be pretty good.
I came up with a football type variant for X-Wing a long time ago.
Oh.
I don't quite remember how it worked, but it was basically you had like 5v5 and you used a bomb token as the ball, and you just stuck it on one of your ships. And then if that ship got destroyed, it would drop it where it was. If you flew through it, you'd pick it up again. And you could shoot at friendly ships to pass the ball to them, essentially. And, how good you were at catching it had to do with your agility value or something. I don't remember the details.
Pretty good.
We played it like once, and it actually was kind of fun.
That sounds pretty good. All right.
Star Wars sports games, Luke, William, Eddie, get on. And Steve, I guess we can't directly call out Steve Horvath anymore.
I mean, but he's the head of Asmodee.
Oh yeah, right.
Asmodee,
we can still call him out.
So.
Yeah,
and we know that all employees, especially at the high levels of these companies, listen to our show because we are the voice of the people in the Star Wars tabletop gaming community.
The
voice of the people who
Star
don't.
Wars.
I feel like we might actually sort of be the voice of the people, who don't take these games nearly as seriously as other people. Because there's so many dedicated podcasts to these other games where they're so dedicated and they put so much thought into these things, and that's good and cool for them, but that's not what we do.
I think we've only made one spreadsheet in our entire history. Maybe two spreadsheets.
I've made a
That's
couple.
about it.
I did I haven't touched in probably a year or two the spreadsheet I made that was trying to track different character appearances off different
That's right.
tabletop games.
I forgot about that one.
It got too long.
I've got a spreadsheet of all the Star Wars CCG cards I'm missing.
All of them?
Which one is your white whale?
Almost.
Ooh, yeah.
Almost.
What?
I mean, there's still a couple sets I've got to sort through and add to the spreadsheet. But, I guess the white whales would be either like, Luke Skywalker Jedi Knight or the Emperor Palpatine from the Death Star 2 set.
Yeah.
Because both of those are two of the rarest and most expensive cards in the game.
Look under your chair.
But honestly, of the cards I don't own that I want the most, I would want the Grand Admiral Thrawn card.
Mm-hmm.
Thrawn. Let me see that Thrawn.
And there was a light side version of Mara Jade that was never actually released for the game, but it was at the end of the game it was given out as I believe it was given out as a prize to some tournament winners and stuff like that. They gave out some copies of this card that was sort of planned to be in a future set, but I mean, obviously the game was at its end, so they, like I said, it just was printed at for some kind of a tournament prize thing.
Mm-hmm.
But getting a hold of one of those would be pretty cool if I could get one of those.
All right, so this year's big winners are, not surprisingly, Squadrons, not surprisingly, Star Wars, the customizable card game, and semi-surprisingly, just delayed reaction on my part, Jedi Fallen Order. Now, from last year's predictions and resolutions, I wasn't able to quickly pull them up. I don't know that we had all that many, and I don't know that many of those were met. So let's just put like a strike through on 2020. Let's just strike through 2020, and let's talk about 2021. What are your? Give me one resolution for a personal resolution, and a hopeful prediction. Doesn't have to be realistic. It can be magical Christmas land. Let's start with Leo.
We finally get some news about the Star Wars card game that was being developed at last we heard.
Yeah, coming up on a few months shy of a year that it was last teased. And a personal resolution for you.
To play a Star Wars game. Tabletop game.
With a human being?
With a human being.
Who does not share your last name?
I did. Yeah, I was going to say I did start teaching my son how to play Legion at his request, but he's also too busy playing Roblox. So.
Damn it, Liam.
He will once every couple weeks be like, Dad, can we try playing again? And then he's also like, Dad, I want to learn how to paint minis. I'm all like, okay, great. Well, just let me know when you want to. And he's all like, okay, I'm going to go play Roblox for the next 5 months. Bye. Roblox.
Yeah, get rid of that.
But you know what? It's the one way he has right now to hang out with some of his friends. They all play together, and they're on Discord and video chat with each other and stuff. So
all right, fine. I'll
Whatever.
I'll allow it. Mr. Joe, one resolution.
Prediction: Jedi Fallen Order's sequel will be formally unveiled. I guess we already know it exists, but they'll title it and give us a trailer and a release date sometime in 2021. That seems like a safe prediction. Prediction that I hope is true, that I'm not sure will be, that you can play as Claude in Lego Star Wars The Skywalker Saga. That would be nice. Claude needs more love. And I want to understand how he moves. Does he waddle? Does he hop? These are questions I need answer to. Oh, yeah. Does he... Yeah, maybe he slides on his belly.
Yeah, he just secretes slime and slides.
Probably white slime.
Yeah.
Out of the top of his head.
For the sake of next year's notes, so we can reference it, what was your prediction again?
Jedi Fallen Order 2 will...
that's right. JFO2.
Have, like a trailer and a title
Formal announcement. And
a release date.
And then your resolution was...
I haven't said yet. I have two.
Okay, go ahead. All right, take it away.
Number one seems easy enough. 200% complete Lego Star Wars The Skywalker Saga. Number two seems like it actually might be impossible. Not impossible, but seems unlikely that I'll get to do it. But I will try, especially if I can video it. I want to play every game on my shelf that I haven't played yet, because there are a large chunk of Star Wars games on my shelf that I have not actually played. Maybe I'll even make a video series of it. I don't know. They'd probably all fall under the JodoCast Versus brand on our YouTube page, but there are quite a few that I haven't played. So I'd like to 100% try all of my Star Wars board games.
All right.
I've decided to change my resolution.
Okay.
My resolution is to rewatch Island City and then create a webcomic to continue the adventures of those guys and their trials with only being able to people whose crystals are matchy with them.
Wow. All right.
I'm gonna
that's definitely how I'm gonna spend 2020.
I'm gonna continue. I'm gonna continue my resolution from this year. I don't know if it was a resolution or just something I did, to release a new video every Monday.
You've done pretty darn well.
I've only missed one since January, I think.
That's pretty good. It's pretty
so
darn
far.
good.
Maybe I'll miss next Monday. I don't know. I've got 2 hours to edit in a video before Monday. unless I do a different one.
I mean, well, you're not going to edit this one, so I guess it doesn't count.
No. Well, this also isn't for public view. This video, if you're seeing this right now, you're either some kind of cheaty hacker or one of our beloved patrons who get to see this.
They're pirating our videos. We should feel honored, right?
I mean, I if somebody actually went out of their way to find this content, that'd be something.
All right. So
the director's cut.
The Snyder cut of this episode.
I mean, it is uncensored entirely. I don't know if you still censor the f***s and the f***s and the shits and the... What else we got, Leo? Just in case he does still censor fucking... I think this would be a fun part of the episode.
Yeah.
Okay, just checking.
I mean, on the podcast version, I do. It's supposed to be family friendly. Damn it.
Has it ever really been, though?
Sure it has. That's the legacy that we're continuing on, that anyone can listen to this show.
I didn't know that. I thought we were the kind of people who talk about chest crystals that tell you who you can...
I mean, that's, that's fans only. That's fans only content, sir.
Well...
That's Leo's fans only. Come to my
island. I gave up on censoring swears on the YouTube channel a long time ago.
That's fine. That's fine. My prediction... So
now my mom probably knows that I swear.
Oh no. Swearing is tight. Prediction for 2021. Boy, oh boy. I feel like I want to give a realistic one, not a Magical Christmas Land one, because I don't think we're going to see any interruption in Legion. I want to see some dang Star Wars RPG stuff from Edge. That's all I want. I just want Edge to be like, hey, we have a Star Wars page now, not just we make games set in a galaxy far, far away. So something substantial, some actual product from Edge Studios. That's it. That's all I want, is just like announcing a new book from Edge Studios. You know what would be really good? Maybe in a few months, if Edge says, hey, new source book, High Republic. Here's the basics. It doesn't have to be like, yeah, right? Because it's a whole new world. It's a whole new, like, here's the bad guys. Era. Here's how you take a basic character from the 3 lines of Star Wars and put them into High Republic.
Right. That would be really cool.
Yeah.
Here's a slightly less safe, but still rather safe prediction. I think there will be 1 or 2 new Star Wars video games announced. Partially just because Matt Martin of the Lucasfilm Story Group recently tweeted something to the effect that he's very excited about what's coming in the world of Star Wars video games.
Yeah.
So
hopefully,
I feel like there'll be some new announcements.
Hopefully that means a complete remake of KOTOR.
That would be pretty neat. I mean, they're remastering the Mass Effect trilogy, and they know people will eat that up. It seems like kind of a business no-brainer to do that.
They're not really remastering it. They're just releasing it in
high def.
But still, yeah, I think they're
in high def.
Yeah, well, still, I think it would take more work to redo KOTOR, and I wouldn't care if they gutted everything except like the dialogue and the story, because I'm not attached to the gameplay or the but I mean they know people would buy that.
Yeah, I mean if they were like, hey, we need to make some money, what should we do? You should release KOTOR 1 and 2 with all the cut content and better graphics.
I don't see it ever happening.
I was asking David Bass about that in 2011, and you're like, well, we've got other things to work on.
I mean, and technically, those two games still sell really well. Just, you know, you can. KOTOR 2 is now available on mobile devices, so you can play both of them on your phone these days. They still sell all the time, and they're always going on sale on Steam. Like, people are still buying those all the time. So, I don't know. Maybe that means it would still. It's not super likely. I'd rather see it like a game called like, I don't know, like KOTOR 3 essentially, but like a game that doesn't expect you to have played the first two. Because maybe a lot of people haven't.
Like Baldur's Gate 3 does not expect you to have played Baldur's Gate 1 and 2. But it's a modern game that ties it, you know, it has the DNA of the old games, but it's a modern ass game.
I honestly would just rather they release a game called Knights of the Old Republic and sort of reboot the series in that era.
I mean, they did exactly that with Battlefront, I suppose, and people weren't confused by the naming, so that would work.
Yeah, I agree. You know, and make a new game, new story that is now canon. I mean, they could even still have Revan in it and stuff, since he's tangentially related to canon.
Yes.
Yeah, they could
now. So
they could do all sorts of stuff.
Agreed. Yeah, if they did that, if they were just like, yep, it's KOTOR, but it's new KOTOR.
I mean, we do
That's
really
fine.
need a.
To be honest, I think I feel like I don't know if we're going to see anything in the Old Republic era for games until the Old Republic MMO dies, or like if they cancel the game, if they kill it off, I feel like that's a sign that they're going to be releasing new canon stuff in that era. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. If they planned to do a new Star Wars product out of the BioWare studios, they would repurpose all those folks that are currently working on SWTOR in Austin, probably to work on that in conjunction with the Canadian studios, because I'm going to be honest, BioWare's kind of a mess right now. And they need all the assistance they can get right now, and I think it would be all hands on deck to do a brand new Star Wars game. And as far as my resolution goes, I desperately want to play with people. I mean, it's been said, but you know what? I had a couple games of X-Wing before lockdown. It was a lot of fun, and I want to do more of that because it was good. I liked it. I want to do more of it, and I got
X-Wing too.
Yeah, I even got the Imperial conversion kit.
I did
So
too.
now
I haven't opened it yet.
There you go. Because I got a lot of Imperial ships, too, besides a lot of Rebel ships. I just don't have that many Scum ships, even though they got some sweet, sweet stuff going on there. And Legion, of course. I haven't run my clones against anybody yet. So, yeah, play with humans. That's what I want to do at some point, even if it's in, Q3, Q4. I don't care. I just want to play with people again. If we can have vaccination parties, like we'll all get together and like shoot up some COVID vaccine together and then play some games, sure, why not? And I think we've been going a while. I knew this would be a dense episode, and we're quickly approaching on 2 hours unedited. So, yeah. I think we're gonna take our leave of everyone. Thanks to all the patrons for joining us.
Patrons submit their resolutions for 2021, and I'd love to put them out there into the world and make them come true. And I said we would offer our advice on how to make it happen. All right, let's run through these real quick. Andy, the Jawa, says, I want to actually play a game of Legion in 2021. Maybe actually get into the store for a game. Also, want to play more Squadrons. Also, if I'm being ambitious, I want to have a fully painted Legion force, with the exception of getting into a store to play games. I think we can help you with the rest of those. Playing Squadrons, play with me, paint your we'll yell at you until it's painted.
You know what? He lives in the same town as me, so I can totally help him. Once store's open for playing, and I can feel like I can spend 3 hours in a store without dying. Yeah, it's gonna happen.
Cody Man says Star Wars gaming goals / resolutions for 2021 : actually play Star Wars Squadrons because I pre-ordered it day one, but haven't gotten around to playing it at all because of work from home, kids from home, COVID life. Get back into some X-Wing minis or something because it's been a while. Fly Casual, Vassal, Tabletop Simulator would be fine. And when all this free time finally arrives, some optimism, perhaps give Fallen Order a go.
Do it.
Though having to wear a poncho the whole time bugs me. Good news for you, Cody.
No,
you don't have to wear a poncho.
You can take the poncho off. Yeah.
You don't have to. That was Bethany's least favorite part of the game, too. She hates the ponchos.
Oh, the ponchos are f***ing stupid. I took mine off as soon as you're able
Ponchos are like trench coats. Not trench coats. Dusters. They're really dumb, except in fictional settings. Then they're cool.
No, they're really dumb in all fictional settings, except in minor cases like when Hellboy.
What about westerns? Westerns are the home of good dusters and good ponchos.
What if you wore a duster with no shirt underneath, Joe?
Then you'd be in a show that Leo doesn't want to talk about.
It's true.
I don't get it.
It's from Always Sunny. And then Cody Man says,
thanks
for
a
the
lot.
Podcast.
Ooh. Do you want me to read? You want to read?
You know what?
You talk
no,
first?
I mean, I wasn't going to read aloud his compliments to us.
I think we should. I want people to know how much people like us.
All right.
Because sometimes people need to know that other people like a thing before they feel they're allowed to like it.
That's fair.
I like it's touching, so we should share it with each other and the world,
all right,
in case we start crying on air. Thanks a lot for the pod and other content, guys. I hope 2021 lets you eventually play together again, though I've appreciated the odd content this year has brought. We wouldn't have Yoda Stories videos without COVID, so there's the silver lining. I think the odd year has forced y'all to become even more creative and fun. Kudos to y'all for a pretty neat 2020 Jodo-wise, but looking forward to what 2021 brings. That's great. I'm excited. That makes me happy, because we did have to pivot a bit, and I'm happy that we're still pleasing the people who matter, those people who patronize us.
We had some grandiose plans. We had some
it started
big
with
ideas.
It started with our goals for Adepticon filmography. We're going to make a whole feature-length film about my Legion tournament at Worlds.
Oh man,
back to Andy. Andy says, "Thanks for entertaining us in 2020 and giving me further inspiration to paint models with the Jodo of painting."
Whoop whoop.
Which I will say as well, that kept me painting over the lockdown, the Jodo of painting video series on our YouTube.
That makes me super happy. I didn't think anyone was gonna take any joy from that except from you and me.
And I'm excited to see what the November-December one pops out, because should have some interesting stuff there. Mythical Mothman says 2021 resolutions : actually play with all the new Legion and X-Wing units that came out during COVID, actually play with the Armada prequel factions that just came out during COVID, actually play with the Legion prequel factions, which I didn't have glued together before COVID. So he just wants to play with all of his toys, which I think we all want to as well.
It's understandable.
What?
I said
understandable.
Oh,
I think it's a resolution we all have. I'm skeptical and have very little faith in the masses, so we'll see if that actually happens.
Oh, humanity.
Our friend White Fox / Seth says 2021 Star Wars gaming resolutions : paint That was all caps. Paint Legion minis. I don't know what else he'd been doing with them. As well as other games minis. Finish the Squadrons campaign. Play more Star Wars RPG. And interestingly enough, he says, Secret Star Wars project in Q1. What does that mean? We're not involved as far as I know.
We're not.
Is he working for Atomic Mass Games now? Is he the main character in Jedi Fallen Order Part 2?
Stay tuned, listeners.
See if our patron will usurp us as someone more interesting in the Star Wars gaming world. I also want to play more.
They grow beyond.
I also want to play more Star Wars RPG. Our Discord RPG group sort of fell apart when COVID hit. Weirdly enough, you'd think that would be an incentive to play more of it.
How did that happen?
Back to Mothman says, "Oh yeah, finish Squadrons campaign for me too." Haha. Last one is our friend John the Beard 1808 says, "I want to keep painting. I'd also like to enjoy potentially playing a game of Legion in real life, pending any COVID changes. Really, other than that, I want to keep playing Squadrons, even if just occasionally a Fallen Order replay is something I'd like to get to eventually too. And I can't wait to listen to JodoCast all the time and watch all your videos and name my next child Jodo and dedicate my whole life to your podcast." Wow, that's so kind, John. I can't believe people like us that much.
And buy all the T-shirts on the store.
That's what our patrons gave us. I think all of their goals sound pretty achievable.
Yeah, they're not nearly as magical Christmas landy.
A lot of them are pending, other human beings, but for the most part, especially the painting ones, I think we can especially come together as a community and yell at each other to paint things more.
Yeah, I've already got an idea for the January Jodo of painting to get everyone back in the swing after Christmas time and maybe a little time off, a little too much eggnog, a few too many Tom and Jerry's. I don't know if anyone outside the Midwest knows what a Tom and Jerry is besides a mouse and a cat.
Yeah, I don't know what that is either. I'm from there.
Yeah, Leo, do you know what a Tom and
Sounds
Jerry
like
is?
a thing you'd have to look up on Urban Dictionary.
It's not like Jodo
Sorry.
on Urban Dictionary. It's a typical brandy drink with some hot milk and then some like whipped egg whites, basically poured on top of that. It's a thing.
That doesn't sound typical at all.
It's a thing.
Get that out of here.
I don't know. Anyways, this is almost certainly, since it's the middle of December, going to be the last Jodo Prime of the year. So we hope everyone had or has, depending on when you are listening to this, a very good holiday, a very good New Year, and you weren't a turd burglar, idiot moron who went out and partied with people and, got within their melee range. Just think about that. Stay outside of melee range. That's all you gotta do. It's not that hard. RPG people, you know how this works. 5-foot range. Stay outside of that. Stay 6 feet. It's easy. Unless you've got a spear and you've got like a 10-foot reach, then you can get them. But if you just have a sword, no, stay away. Ranged attacks only. Am I wrong? You're looking at me like I have lobsters crawling out of my ears like Ralphie on Christmas Story.
You're not wrong.
I suppose you all haven't seen those either.
What? You don't think we've seen A Christmas Story?
Some people haven't. I know it's weird.
You know what? I don't like to shame people for not having seen popular things. Because most of the popular things I feel like that come up I haven't seen.
They're also not as great as everyone thinks they are.
What about The Godfather?
I've never seen it.
I feel like The Godfather is to the 1970s like Pulp Fiction is to the 1990s. Like, it was super cool at the time, but after the fact, you're like, maybe not. Like Blade Runner. If you go back and watch Blade Runner, it's like, I don't know
Blade
about
Runner
this.
never was good.
I fell asleep the one time I tried watching it on Netflix during college. I don't know if it was because I was tired or the movie made me tired, but I don't remember any of it.
It's a very relaxing movie.
Blade Runner is one of those super overhyped things that I just never understood, like, why everyone was all like, "Oh, this is so."
Maybe they just didn't have other
so
good
boring.
cyberpunk. That was like the only cyberpunk they knew, and they were like just enamored by the genre.
I mean, and
Yeah.
not even the. I mean, even the story it's based off of is terrible, but that's also pretty normal. Like, I pretty much hate all of his stories. They're not very good.
No? Okay.
He was not a good writer.
Well,
That's the Electric Sheep story, right?
yep.
Yeah.
Why
Like
can't I
Electric
think of his
Sheep.
name?
Philip K. Dick. There's a
Philip K.
terrific
Dick.
Penny
Yeah,
Arcade
Philip K. Dick.
comic about it.
A.K. Philip Dick and you. Sorry.
Yeah, it's I've read a lot of his stories, and they're just not that great. Like, but a lot of classic sci-fi writers, I feel like that too. Like Ray Bradbury, super famous, but man, a lot of his stories just aren't.
How
that
about
good. I feel like Asimov is one of
I
the
was
few
about to
like
ask.
classic sci-fi writers who does actually write.
I actually started the Foundation series one time, but I couldn't get into it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love.
I've heard it's good.
Foundation
Like
series.
this. Yeah, I distinctly remember being told multiple occasions by a very drunk person in college how badly I needed to read them. Because, like, he knew I was, like, a nerd, and other people he hang out with probably wouldn't get it.
I don't think I would ever like tell somebody like, "Oh, you got to read this," but I do think the Foundation series is pretty fantastic, especially the first half.
My parents told me that. They're like, you gotta read this.
You
Like,
gotta
okay.
read it, or you're out. We're kicking you out.
Let me get
We're
through
cutting you off
Chronicles
if
of
you don't
Narnia
read
first.
this. I
I'm
need the
only
full
8.
book report by Monday.
On that note, we should probably cut it off because I think this is gonna be
We
pushing on
should.
like one of our. I don't know how long it's gonna end up being after editing, but it's gonna be one of our longest episodes ever.
I can
so.
tell you this, there's not a heck of a
So,
lot to edit, honestly. It's a pretty good episode.
So, to anyone who actually stuck around to the end here, thanks.
Yeah,
Way to be a
I
trooper.
thanked Joe. I gotta thank Leo, obviously. I gotta thank the listeners, the patrons especially, because they're the ones that make the magic happen. And you know what? It's the end of the year, so thanks FFG and Jesus and Asmodee. They're all on the same level.
Dr. Fauci.
Nope. There you go. Ed Studios, AMG,
Motive.
that's everyone. Motive, there you go. Are we going to thank EA for anything?
We ain't thanking EA for.
All right.
We'll
in
thank
any case,
Kathleen Kennedy.
yeah, still not fired. Let's put another hash mark on the wall for years that they've not fired Kathleen Kennedy. Oh yeah, it's been 3 years since good old best Star Wars movie Last Jedi came out. So we gotta light a candle for that one. Light
Have we
one of
done the
Advent
commentary
candles.
on that yet?
Nope.
That's our collective resolution, is to continue
There
our
you
commentary
go.
series.
If for no other reason than to get to the Rise of Crapwalker.
You know what? I want to do it for listener Ben, because I still remember years ago, and I know he's still around. He was like, "When are you guys going to continue your commentary episodes?" And then we were like, "Oh," and I think we then did the next one, or maybe it's still been since then that we haven't done it. But you know what, Ben? We're going to hook you up, and we're going to continue with Last Jedi, Rise of Skywalker. I think we still got it. We for sure have to do Solo. I'm pretty sure we did Rogue One already. That might have been our last one.
I think so.
We could do holiday special, patrons only kind of deal there. Anyways, have a good year, whatever year you're listening to this. If it's 2050 and you're one of the last people alive, it must be kind of weird.
Have taken over.
Well, think how disappointing it would be to find remaining. They found this on like an MP3 player somewhere, and they're like, "Oh, it's still got battery. I'm gonna listen to some ancient stuff."
They find Joe's.
I was gonna say it's Joe's Zune. That
From
thing
the
will
before
survive a nuclear
times.
holocaust.
I'm gonna listen to a podcast. There's gonna be all this cultural artifacts, and I might get a glimpse of the world before. And then they just listen to this, and that's when they give up. They let the zombies take them.
I mean, it could be worse. It could be. I mean, they could have ended up finding our one clumsy and random episode with the Eope thing everywhere.
We need to make friends with an animator who can animate scenes from
but stick figure, not super high quality.
Sure.
Just stick figure. Yeah. Okay, that's it. I promise. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Happy New Year. Feliz Navidad.
There was our Midwestern goodbye. Only took us about a half hour.
There you go.
See ya.